Hey, welcome to video number 202, holy, of Walker This Way with Hazel Walker, the queen of all things.
B&I and networking.
I am Mark Simmons. I love how I always laugh at that part.
Well, because we had to do a take two before you ever got started.
Yeah, but nobody knew that till now, when we're always a one-take wonder.
I know, but we weren't even 3 seconds into it.
That is true. And we did just keep recording. Um, so we are, and we usually are one-take wonders. So 202, Walker This Way, Hazel Walker. So we've been going through the policies of BNI.
Mm-hmm.
And today's policy is a really interesting one. And what's really interesting or troubling or confusing, pick your word, about this is when we look at PALMS reports, which tell the PALMS report, as we know, the traffic light report is a snapshot in time, colors, but the PALMS report tells a story of how the members get into certain places. And we look through the attendance, the P, present, that's what P stands for in PALMS. And there are members in chapters who have 5, 6, 7. I've even seen as high as 16 absences in a 6-month period. 16 absences. But as you always say, if that member gets 16, guess who else gets 16?
Everybody.
Everybody gets 16 absences in the chapter. But then what happens to the chapter? So today we're going over policy number 5, which is the attendance policy, which is, I'll read it and then we can talk about it. A BNI member is allowed 3 absences within a continuous 6-month period. If a member cannot attend, they may send a substitute. This will not count as an absence. And even within those few couple sentences, there's a lot to unpack.
There is a lot to unpack. Often when I see the people that have lots of missed meetings, quite often it's that they're actually on medical leave and no one is marking the M in the PALMS.
Right.
They're just marking the A and not the M. So quite often we have to just go back and do some corrections, which we can do.
Yeah.
But that is not done. We also have the people who have 6, 7, and 8. And if I ask a person, go, why are you letting this person? Well, when they do show up, when they are here, they're a good member and they pass good referrals.
Yeah.
Right, but because they pass good referrals, they get special privileges. Special privileges is not okay, because you can't give one child a special privilege and not give all your children special privileges, right? You can't give one child gifts all the time and not everybody. And just because I give good referrals on occasion doesn't mean I should have that right. But the word in there that sometimes causes confusion is may send a substitute.
Yeah, the may part.
The may part. We don't require substitutes. Like you're allowed 5 substitutes. That's up to the chapter to enforce that, to make sure that happens. They get to set that. Now, during COVID, we wide opened that and said they got to take time off for incubation periods and all that, which they don't have to do anymore.
Right.
They don't have to do that anymore. Let me turn this little dinger off. So May is I get to choose if I'm going to send a substitute or not. If I don't send a substitute, it will count as an absence. If I do send a substitute, it won't count as an absence.
Right.
The limit to substitutes is strictly up to the chapter, although there was some statistics done by Caroline and I forget who else, but that showed that actually the substitutes, when you send a good substitute, they actually contribute as much to the chapter as the member.
Right.
If you have a regular good substitute. So chapters have to decide what they're going to do about substitutes. The 3 absences in 6 months, it's a rolling, continuous 6 months. And as it rolls forward, some drop off.
Right.
And some add back on.
Yeah. So I think let's stop there and just clarify. The 3 absences within a continuous 6-month period is a BNI policy.
Yeah.
Substitutes is a chapter standard, and a chapter can decide how many substitutes they're going to allow within that 6-month period. Or how many substitutes before they say, well, now it's an absence or whatever it is. But that's a
And
chapter standard.
yeah, and I tell them they need to look at how that's impacting the power of one. How is it impacting that person's participation in the chapter? If they're
Right.
having too many substitutes, do you need to create something for your chapter? But yes, that is strictly up to the chapter. Same as lateness is strictly up to the chapter.
Late leaving early up to the
Yeah.
chapter.
Straight just to them.
Yeah.
The attendance is a policy.
Right.
And it is a policy that sets us apart from the rest of the world because we not only have a policy, we have a process for it.
Yeah.
And it's what makes us successful because people are expected to be there. Because how many times have you gone to a network meeting that says, oh, we've got 85 members, but only 15 are showing up?
Right. Yeah.
Right? So we're not getting, and it's never the same 15. It's maybe the same 5 or 6, but it varies the rest. You can't build solid relationships that way.
Yeah.
So that's why that is a policy. And the beauty of that now is that you get letters reminding you.
Right.
Right? You've missed your first meeting. You've missed your second meeting. There's no reason you don't know. And it also shows up on your app how many missed meetings.
Yeah.
And it even tells you when you've got one back. Congratulations, Mark. You got a day back.
Right. Yeah. And
So
it is a rolling 6 months. And we talk about this in VCP, visibility, credibility, profitability. It's one of the benchmarks at BNI. It comes up all over the place. And it's the visibility piece too, attending, visibility, being visible, being there, as opposed to an empty chair representing you. Or if there's an online meeting, even when you have you're there, but your camera's off, you are now invisible. It's still not being visible and showing up. We visit many online meetings and we see that.
If your camera's off, you're not really there.
You're not really there. Although technically, according to policy, you are, but a chapter can set that standard that you need to be on video. But it is the visibility piece, which also goes to your credibility. Because you're not showing up, the chances are, if I give you a referral, you might not show up for that either. That's what it tells me. So I'm not giving you a referral. So it can hurt your credibility.
It can. It does hurt your credibility.
It does.
You're not consistently here, and you're not adding value to our chapter.
Right. So let's look at the word may then. It's allowed 3 absences within a continuous 6-month period, and they may send a substitute. What is the accountability or the consequence then that now I'm on my 4th absence?
Well, you'll notice that our letters never open a position.
Right.
It reminds you of how many absences you've had. And it sends the vice president a letter saying, hey, they are well over policy. It is up to the chapter to decide how they're going to enforce that. So it's still the chapter that says we're opening your position. It's the 4th absence. We're opening your position. The other thing is we remember that we're dealing with people, right? So things happen. So you may have a really great member who suddenly stuff is happening in their home. Maybe they have a sick parent and they're under a lot of stress, or their job has changed, or something's happened that they're starting to miss a lot of meetings when in the past they've been pretty consistent. Those are the people you want to have conversations with when you notice that their attendance is going down. What's going on? How can we help you? How can we support you? You also have the opportunity to offer a probationary time and say, we're going to extend another one more for you. We're going to put you on probation, but if you miss a next meeting, a 5th meeting,
your seat's open.
Then we'll have to open your system. If this is something you think is going to be continued for a long time, maybe you need to take a medical leave, or maybe you need to get a certificate of credit. You can offer options and help the person. Now, if that person is someone that always has a substitute, rarely shows up, they really don't participate that much, those are people you might not want to just keep working with. You've tried doing things with them and it's not helping.
Yeah.
So the chapter gets to decide that too. Probations have to be put in writing, and
there's a letter for that.
The letter must be approved by your consultant.
Yeah.
And definitely, if you're going to open a position, we just need to know that.
Yeah. But also, we should add too that first absence, second absence, third absence is a letter, but there's also got to be a conversation from a membership committee member
How
to
can
that
we
member
help?
going, hey, what's going on? Like always
What's happening?
communicating
Yeah.
and documenting that.
What's happening? What's changed? What's going on? Because you'll see this a lot of times, it becomes seasonal,
Yeah.
right? When the kids are home more, or landscaping is, I'm really, really busy right now, or it's winter time and this is my busy seat. So see, lots of things impact it.
Right. A lot of times
That's
we
a
know,
conversation.
right. And you brought this to our attention years ago that we get complaints when members do have their seat open because there's a whole story around the fourth absence. I had to do this happened on. And we say, yeah, but it's not the fourth absence that opened your seat. It's the first three where you chose not to have a sub because
Yeah,
it is a choice and you chose not to. That's what fourth one just sealed the deal for you.
right. You took holidays without sending substitutes. You took a day off to sleep in without sending a substitute. Like
Right.
you could have planned that.
Because really
It's never the last one that got you.
yeah, and really the three absences in 6 months is meant as this is my sniffly day. I have a cold today or whatever it is.
I woke up
That's
with
what
the
it's
flu. I
for.
can't get in.
Yeah, that's what they're for. And
Yeah,
so and another important point to mention then is you got to be consistent as a membership committee because it applies to everyone equally.
yeah,
Whatever that is, it's equal to everyone.
yeah. And if I always say to because they'll go, well, what about probation? It has to be equal for everyone. Well, no, that doesn't. Probation can be, and even an employer can give a probation to one person while they're going to let another person go.
Yeah,
You have always been an amazing employee, and something has gone terribly wrong. We want to help you. You've never actually ever participated.
yeah,
It's like we've done this before with you.
right.
So yeah, you got to use it with compassion and understand your members. Remember, our first step is always how can we help you?
Right.
How can we help you do better? How can we help you achieve? How can we get you to show up? Do you need to replace, like I had one person who was missing a lot of meetings and they had someone from their office coming all the time. So we just switched the membership.
Yeah.
She's now the member and he will substitute for her.
Yeah.
Right? So that fixed it. That was easy. That fixed it. And it's been great since. So chapters have to always have that conversation of how can we help you be here.
Right.
And another thing is,
Mhm.
just one more thing, and this is, a pet peeve of mine. This needs to be covered when you're interviewing people.
Right.
Do, Mark, you think you can follow our attendance policy? Will you have someone you can send as a sub? Because I'm going to have to educate you about what a sub is, right?
Mm-hmm.
So this needs to be done at the interview process, not when you're in the midst of it.
Right. And for those listening, look back on one of our many Walk This Way videos where we have videos specific about what is and what is not a sub and what is a good sub and how do you find subs. We've done multiple videos about that, so you can look back and find those.
Absolutely.
That'd be really important. All right, Hazel Walker, there's a lot within that one policy. However, chapter culture, you want to have a really amazing chapter culture where your members make money and they grow and the chapter grows. The attendance policy is one of the keys to success in a chapter is follow the policy.
Absolutely. And you did tell me this is going up on Halloween, right?
Yes, so today technically is Halloween.
Yeah. This is a
Hence,
Halloween.
not my shirt, but Hazel's shirt with the bats.
But you have the magic wand. I've seen you raise that
Ooh.
up multiple times in this video.
Yes. Yes. Or the spine for the, what are they called? Surlock spine.
Right.
Because I'm fidgety.
This is our Halloween edition.
It's a Halloween edition. So have a ghoulish time today. Until next time, Hazel Walker.
See you then.
Bye.
Bye.